Okay, let me check how much Tesla shares are, okay? Give me a second. Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back. So today we are talking about stock splits because I think that this is a somewhat concerning trend in the stock market that I see right now actually, and I'll elaborate on what I mean. So in case you don't know what a stock split is though, a stock split is basically when a company takes its own stock and split it into multiple shares but reduces the price of each share. So if you think about it, it's basically like when you have a $50 bill and instead of a $50 bill you give me the $50 bill and I give you back five $10 bills. So the amount of money that you have is still the same, but you know, it feels like you have more money, right? Because you have more bills, but it doesn't change anything on a fundamental level. So same thing with stocks. So when a company split its stock, basically the goal is to attract more investors, right? So a high sticker price of a stock is very intimidating to new beginners in the stock market because you see, oh, Tesla shares at like $2,000 a share, or like Amazon shares are at like $3,000. It might deter you from buying any shares, right? I know in America you guys have like fractional shares, but even then you don't want to buy like a quarter of a share or a tenth of a share. You want to buy like a whole share, right? Because it feels like you have more ownership of the company, even though on a fundamental level it doesn't change anything. But the thing is though, although with stock splits, as I said, it doesn't change anything on a fundamental level, practically though it does seem to make a difference because as you know, Tesla and Apple, they both announced a stock split recently and both of their stocks have just surged after the announcement. But just think about how Apple and Tesla have changed their core business since they announced a stock split. They haven't, all right? It's the exact same as before, but you know, clearly by looking at the stock chart, you can see that since they announced the stock split, both of these stocks have run up massively, and it's quite clear that the recent run up is caused by the announcement of the stock split itself. So now we have this situation where I think other companies are starting to realize that they can make their stock run up just by announcing a stock split, and I think that this trend is just going to continue, right? I wouldn't be surprised if more companies announce stock splits in the near future because face it, the money is just too good. But what does this mean for us though? Well, I think in the short term this could actually make some interesting trading ideas. Now, you know, I'm not really a big advocate for trading stocks. I'm a long-term investor if I do say so myself, but I think that these are far from normal times and there are opportunities in trading stocks currently at the moment. Like if this was a year ago, I say, oh, I don't trade stocks. We don't do that here. But now it's tempting, let me just say that. So let me elaborate a little further on what I mean though. For example, Amazon. The stock is at over $3,000 per share at this moment. And the price doesn't get any more intimidating than that, okay? So imagine if Amazon announced like a 30-to-1 split or something. I can bet you that the stock would just instantly go over 4,000, right? Or not instantly, but like it would probably go over 4,000. I can see that very easily if they announce a stock split. Another one that comes to mind is Google, or as I should say, Alphabet. The stock is at $1,500 a share at the moment, so I can definitely see a stock split in the future. Also, another one is Chipotle. Now, Chipotle is a restaurant, guys, but looking at the stock price, you think that they're like 3D printing their burritos or something. Okay, so what about the long term though? So long term, I feel like this is not a good sign. I'll be completely honest with you guys. When we have companies that are just increasing their market caps just by doing absolutely nothing, just by announcing a stock split, you know, we're getting into bubble territory if this trend continues. The stock market as a whole is at all-time highs, and this stock market is based on fundamentals that are just not so good, if I do say so myself. And there are certain other things that are just skyrocketing besides stocks. Like, I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but lumber prices are apparently skyrocketing. Yeah, I think right now it's important to remind ourselves of the famous Warren Buffett quote, which I'll repeat once again right here. I'm sure you guys have heard it before, but I'll say it again here, which is, be greedy when others are fearful and be fearful when others are greedy. So I think that looking at the fear to greed index, which is an index that tracks basically market sentiment, we can see that it's heavily tilted in the greed part right now. So back in March, I think it was tilted in the extreme fear side. I think it hit like 3 out of 100 at one point, but now we're like 70 or something, right? So I think that it's worth it to be a little bit more fearful at the moment. Now, does this mean that you should be shorting the market? I don't necessarily think that you should be shorting the market or buying put options, because the market could always continue to go up, right? So anyone who has bought put options or shorted the market in the past, I don't know, like 3 months or so, they've probably gotten their faces ripped off, right? So yeah, they've probably all gotten wrecked. So I wouldn't recommend that. But I think that right now, a good plan is to be extremely selective in terms of which stocks you're putting your money in and which stocks you're buying. And if you have stocks that have run up a lot, potentially cashing in some profits, right? So I'm talking about stocks like Zoom or stocks like Chipotle or Peloton or whatever, right? Which brings me to the ultimate question, which is, am I selling Tesla? And I gotta admit, guys, at this point, I'm kind of on the fence. I'm kind of tempted. So I'm probably not gonna sell out of my Tesla position completely, even if I do decide to sell, but I might consider taking some profits on this one. And before you get mad at me for having paper hands, hear me out, okay? So you know, back when the stock was at like $1,400 a share or something, that was still sort of an acceptable price range for me to hold Tesla. And back then I was not considering selling at all. But now you can't deny that there's a lot of hype in this stock. And yes, I know that Tesla is a growth beast, and don't think that I don't know that. I know that better than the vast majority of people out there. However, I think that at this point we have like 3 years of growth at least that's priced into Tesla stock already. So if we're just thinking long term, that it's gonna take maybe 3 years or maybe even more, likely even more, for the company just to grow into its current valuation, just to justify its current valuation. Maybe there's other places in the meantime to deploy your money. So looking at Tesla's stock chart right now, we can see that before it started popping and before people started pouring into this stock in droves, it traded sideways for a really long time before anything happened, okay? So for a long time, Tesla stock was just dead money. And I'm just worried that because the stock has run up so much that it's gonna trade sideways for the next, I don't know, 3 to 5 years or something like that. So if you look at Tesla, what are the chances that Tesla is gonna be the best performing stock in the next 10 years? I say that the chances are relatively slim, right? So if you look at what's the best performing stock or what's the best 10 performing stocks in the past 10 years, I think that Tesla is probably one of them, right? But you know, what about the next 10 years? What about the next 5 years? I think that in the next 5 to 10 years, Tesla is unlikely to be the top 10 performing stock again. And again, usually I'm not for making short-term moves, but we gotta be realistic as well. When a stock runs up parabolically, usually there's at least a small correction at some point in the future. And I know a lot of you who watch this channel also watch Jeremy from Financial Education. And, you know, if you watch Jeremy from Financial Education, you would know that he's one of the OG, original, biggest Tesla bulls out there. And let me just remind you that Jeremy did sell some Tesla shares back when it hit 900 for the first time. Now, he did end up buying back all the shares that he sold when the price fell back down to like 700 or something. So it turned out well for him. But what I'm trying to say is that even the biggest Tesla bulls, sometimes they take profits on the big gains, right? So, you know, this doesn't mean that you lose faith in the company. This doesn't mean that you don't believe in the company anymore. It just means that you think that the price might be a little bit too disconnected from fundamentals, right? I know, you know, with big tech stocks, with like Apple and Amazon and things like that, they always trade rich, right? They always trade a little bit just above their fundamentals. But if you look at a stock like Tesla, it's really not normal for a stock to be gaining like 5% a day for absolutely no reason on absolutely no news, right? So with that being said though, I haven't sold any shares at the moment. Now, I have 6 shares, by the way, so chump change compared to other YouTubers, but hey, it's a lot of money for me, okay? And yeah, as I said, I'm kind of on the fence about this one, so you guys let me know. Please leave down in the comments below whether you agree or disagree with anything that I've just said, and feel free to provide your opinion on whether you think Tesla's overvalued or Tesla's undervalued, or if I should sell Tesla, buy Tesla, hold Tesla. I'd love to hear what you think. Right, so I'll leave the video here. Be sure to hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, and consider subscribing if you like the series. Be sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, links down below in the description as always. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye!